Hello War Family, this is Jaden's videos, and whew, this is a crazy video for the October Jack's Halloween Marathon. This is a change of scenery, isn't it? From the normal flat Florida land that you guys see from me. It's because I'm not in Florida. I know, it's crazy. Today is October 2nd, 2020. This will be uploaded a couple days after, but this is October 2nd, 2020. And I am in Tarrytown, New York, which is right outside of Sleepy Hollow, New York. So, this is crazy. If you don't know what Sleepy Hollow is, why are you in the Halloween community? I'm just kidding. But Sleepy Hollow, there's a deer right there. Yo, no way. It's so crazy seeing stuff like this. We never see this stuff in Florida. Sleepy Hollow is the town where the legend of Sleepy Hollow takes place. So the Tim Burton film made after it, the Disney film, all that stuff. This is where the legend of Sleepy Hollow takes place. The legend of Sleepy Hollow is the story of the Headless Horseman. Now we all know who the Headless Horseman is. He is the main mascot for Halloween. I mean, come on. We all know who he is. This is where that takes place. And so, because Halloween Horror Nights was canceled this year, and plane tickets, because of the virus, are so cheap. It was $7 to come from here, from Florida to here. That's insane. We decided to come, because this is the perfect Halloween event. They do Halloween events here. They do a big jack-o'-lantern blaze. They do reenactments of the Headless Horseman. And to actually be where the story says the Headless Horseman rides each October is insane. It's crazy. This is, if there was a real Halloween town in real life, this is it. Sleepy Hollow, New York. Now, this is my first time ever being out of state during the Halloween season, ever. I only ever go out of state in summer. So this is a big change of pace. This is a big change for me. I have never seen fall. Well, I've seen fall because obviously we do get cool weather in Florida, but I've never seen true fall in person. I've never seen the leaves change colors. I've never felt the actual cool fall air. Only the Florida watered down 70 degrees fall air, not this 50 degree stuff. This is crazy for me. So it is my first time seeing true fall in person, as well as I'm going to Sleepy Hollow where the Headless Horseman resides. So this may well be, combined with how good the haunt's going to be this year, and how Spirit is this year and everything, and now I'm in Sleepy Hollow, New York. This may well be the best Halloween season ever for me. Wow. Now, do not worry about the haunt itself. I'm going to be back on Sunday. I'm only here for 2 days, today and tomorrow. Friday and Saturday, October 2nd and October 3rd. Do not worry about the haunt one bit. I will get right back to work on the haunt as soon as I arrive back home in Florida on Sunday. So don't worry about that. This is just an exciting little thing to do for Halloween because this is the ultimate Halloween town, which is why I'm uploading it on the channel, because this is the ultimate Halloween town, and I have not... Oh, I have been recording. I thought I wasn't. I was about to throw a panic attack, but this is the ultimate Halloween town, which is why I'm recording it and having it on the channel. You guys need to see this. This is the best place to go for Halloween, and I haven't even been in the actual city yet. We're just at the hotel, but I'm going to make a whole video on the trip to Sleepy Hollow, because this is the replacement for Halloween Horror Nights being canceled this year. Going to the town of the Headless Horseman. There's the Sleepy Hollow sign, all decorated for Halloween. At first we were riding around the town, and it was like no Halloween stuff because you had to make reservations for everything, and we didn't do that because my mother is not very smart. But anyways, we couldn't find any decorations either, and it's like, this isn't a very Halloween-y town. We just weren't looking in the right spot. There we go. We got...
There it is. There's all of it.
There's our Halloween decorations. Okay, so what we're doing right now, if you cannot see by this very apparent Headless Horseman chasing Ichabod Crane thing, this is where the trail starts that Ichabod Crane took when running from the Horseman. Because, if you do not know, the story is based on real people who lived at the time. Ichabod Crane was real. The Headless Horseman was a real soldier that was found decapitated. And he's got a real grave, and so all the places where the story takes place are written off of real places that Washington Irving wrote. So we're gonna walk the path that was that Ichabod Crane walked. Right over here, we're doing this at night, so I know it's hard to see, but right over there, that is the mill. And now what the mill is, that is the mill that Washington Irving wrote about in the story, the exact one. That is the one that was from the 1700s. Washington Irving lived in the area when he wrote his story, which is why all the places are actually accurate places. He wrote it about the town. This is the mill that Ichabod Crane passed because he was trying to get to the church. The church is right on over there, right up the road a bit. He was trying to get to the church because the bridge that is there. And as said in the Disney adaptation of the film, once you pass that bridge, my friend, the ghost is through, his power ends. And so he's trying to get there. And around this area here is where the hollow would have been. This is where all the swamp area would have been back in the 1700s. So this is now a parking lot, but that's what it would have been back then. And this is where he would hear the crickets calling his name and the frogs croaking Ichabod. And then right around here is where he would have actually probably a little bit more up that way a bit, is where he would have turned around and heard the Headless Horseman let out his laugh and start charging towards him on his horse, and they went all the way there. They took some wrong turns, and they went all the way there, and he almost reached the bridge, but as we all know, poor Ichabod Crane did not make it out alive. So this is the actual bridge. If you could see the sign over there. Oh no, there it is. This is the bridge he crossed that Washington Irving wrote about. Right here, this is the bridge. Now, I don't know what this is. I think this is a reconstruction, because this is where the bridge would have actually been, I think. The bridge is a highway now, whereas it used to be a wooden bridge. But this is where it was. So he got halfway across. No, he got all the way across, but then he threw his jack-o'-lantern, so that didn't do much good. The church is right there, so that's... He was headed towards the church, and it's right up on the hill there. And here is the historical landmark sign officially labeling this spot as the bridge of the Headless Horseman. The most well-known and beloved Halloween story in history, and my personal favorite. And my personal favorite Halloween character of all time. And here, my friends, is the old Dutch church itself, which you can hardly see because it's nighttime, but I'll try to turn my flashlight on. Here's the old Dutch church that Ichabod Crane was trying to reach but never got to. And on the other side of the church is where Elizabeth Van Tassel, the Headless Horseman, and Ichabod Crane are all actually buried. The Headless Horseman is an unmarked grave, though, because they didn't really know who he was. The story was written about him, but they didn't really know who he was. All they knew is that his head got blown off in the war. But yeah, it's so crazy to see this stuff in person, because this is like one of the most beloved Halloween stories of all time. And it's my favorite Halloween character of all time, hence the reason I own 2 animatronics of him. But it's crazy to see in person, because really this story has shaped the holiday of Halloween how it is. I mean, what year do you think of Halloween and you don't think of the Headless Horseman? Everyone knows who the Headless Horseman is, and he's the symbol of Halloween, which is why it's so crazy to see where this all actually happened. And then there's the cemetery. We are currently in the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, where the Headless Horseman is said to rise each Halloween night out of his grave. This is the exact cemetery from the story, right by the church. And this is where the real Headless Horseman is buried, because the Headless Horseman was a real guy who was found with his head blown off from a cannonball during battle. And he is what inspired the Headless Horseman in the story, though he is not a real ghost, of course, unless you believe that he is. This is where the body was actually buried. This is also where the characters who inspired Ichabod Crane, Katrina Van Tassel, Brom Bones, and every other character from the legend of Sleepy Hollow, the real inspirations from them are buried here. This is a really great cemetery because in Florida we obviously don't have cemeteries that are up on hills. So I really like this. It looks very Halloween-y. I'm a big fan of it. So let's go see if we can find the Hessian soldier, the Headless Horseman himself. Look at this crypt here. That is spooky. Take a look at that. You can look inside. Yep, that's a mausoleum. That is spooky. Here is the grave of Washington Irving himself, the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. There it is, right back there. Now he picked this spot because it is up on a hill that looks down onto the cemetery churchyard, the churchyard cemetery, which he made famous through the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So he's kind of, you know, at the top of it in death, looking over it all, looking over the horseman himself. Let's head up this cobblestone pathway here, which leads right up. This is pretty cool. This cemetery looks like something you'd see right out of the Haunted Mansion. And that mausoleum, I'm a big fan of because I love all the moss growing on it.
Write down how many miles it is from the oldest church in New York City. 28. Blue 2.
Here we are, looking over the whole cemetery. I think we're on the highest hill. Actually, no, that's the highest hill. But these mausoleums are kind of tucked into the hill here. These are some nice mausoleums. You can see the mountain range in the distance. And these mausoleums kind of span this whole entire hill here. All around. Look at this mausoleum. This is crazy. Look at this. Wow, this is a huge one. And it's for Barney the dinosaur. Look at how big I can't believe Barney died, but like, look at how big his mausoleum is. This is the coolest one I've seen. Take a look at this. It's like look at all the busts just staring at you. This is a cool one. Here, let me back up so you can see the rest of it. It's there's Barney the dinosaur. But it's very large too. Look at how big that is. Angel beating someone over the head on the top there. I don't know what's going on there. Now, sadly, we cannot explore this entire cemetery because, well, it goes on for miles. I'm not even kidding. We have a map of it. They give you a map for the cemetery because it's so large, but it goes on for miles. We're only like not a half a mile in, so we cannot explore the entire thing. So instead, we're going to turn back in just a moment and go see Katrina Van Tassel and Brom Bones' graves. Apparently Ichabod Crane is buried somewhere else. He's not buried in this cemetery. I thought he was, but Ichabod Crane was based off a schoolmaster in a town about an hour away from actual Sleepy Hollow. That's a cool mausoleum. But that's what Ichabod Crane was based after, so he's not buried here. However, Katrina and Brom Bones are. They have different names in real life, but they were inspired off those people, so we're going to see them. Now, I want to mention that even though there's not much stuff going on in Sleepy Hollow this year because of the virus, there's still tons of people who have come here just for Halloween time, just like we have, because there's tons of people wearing jack-o'-lantern masks, Halloween clothing, and exploring the cemetery, because this is the ultimate place to go for Halloween. Here's the grave of the one and only Katrina Van Tassel from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, Katrina, Washington Irving saw her grave after she was already dead, because she died before he was born, and named the character in the story after her. Yet, he based the physical description on her after a woman named Elizabeth who lived in the town. But this is the Katrina Van Tassel that inspired the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This is the gravestone that Irving saw when he decided to make that character, and right next to her is her beloved husband, Petrus Van Tassel. What you're looking at right here may just look like a big open plot of land, but this is where the Headless Horseman himself is buried, as told by some of the cemetery workers and articles online. This is a big open plot of land, and the Headless Horseman was thrown in an unmarked grave because he was just a Hessian soldier found on the side of the road, and he wasn't a Catholic, so they didn't want to mark his grave in this. Well, he was a Catholic, sorry. They didn't want to mark his grave in this Christian cemetery because they didn't see Catholics as being fully Christians back in the time. And so they unmarked his grave, the decapitated Hessian soldier found on the side of the trail. And that is what inspired the Headless Horseman, as Washington Irving heard that story growing up, and he saw this, and this is exactly where the real live Headless Horseman from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, from all the movies and stuff, all the props that we know of, he's buried somewhere in this open plot of land, as told by the workers of the cemetery. Now, my guess is that he's buried right here, and the reason why is because there's a dip in the ground here. There's a big dip in the ground, which is a lot more reasonable for a body to be buried there. But not only that, the grass is way greener here than any other surrounding area. And obviously, corpses make fertilization. So the Headless Horseman is somewhere in this area under this ground. The real live Headless Horseman. That is an insane thing to think. This is another ghost that is mentioned in the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Her name is Hulda, and she was a witch. Well, they assumed she was a witch back at the time, but she's not obviously as big as the Headless Horseman, but she's still mentioned in the story when describing all the ghosts that haunt it. Now, she is not actually buried here. This tombstone was added only 5 years ago. As you can see, it looks a lot newer, because she never had a marker, and they thought they should make a marker for her. So she's not actually buried here, but she does have a marker. This right here is quite possibly the grave of the guy who inspired Brom Bones, as this guy was known for his daredevil things that he did. This is what the city says in their cemetery thing. So this is quite possibly Brom Bones. Now this right here is the grave. This is the last one we're going to see, but this is the grave of the woman who was alive at the time and inspired the appearance described of Katrina. This is Eleanor Van Tassel. So we came up a couple hours north of Sleepy Hollow. We've been doing this all day so we can see some more fall leaves, because Sleepy Hollow hasn't really had the leaves turn too much yet since only the beginning of October. Now when we were crossing over the Hudson River, there were a lot more fall leaves than there are here, but we decided to keep going north to see if we could see even more, and sadly there's not as many as there were by the Hudson River, just because, I don't know, maybe it's because, I don't know, they were on mountains and stuff. But there's still fall leaves here, which is nice, and it's still my first time seeing fall, pretty much. Well, seeing fall leaves. And there's also a lot on the ground, so that's still very Halloween-y looking. And it's nice. And we saw a bunch on the way up here, so that adds to it. We just didn't get out and look at them. But there is a nice fall smell in the air, and I like it. Especially down this hill here. You can see how Halloween-y this looks, the rolling hills with the leaves on them. We sadly don't have tickets for this, but look at this Headless Horseman's Hayride haunted house. We stopped just to look at the entrance because they've got the Home Depot skeletons. They got some great floodlights too. Really awesome archway. I really wish we could stop and go in, but we don't have tickets. Okay, so we're outside the Sleepy Hollow Funeral Home. First I got that jack-o'-lantern there, but the thing that appealed to me most, and the reason we had to stop, is because look at what they got up here. I don't think he's on, he's probably not, but they've got the Home Depot Headless Horseman up here by some hay bales, and that's super cool. I was actually thinking to myself, why haven't I seen any place here with that prop? You would think this place would have it more than anywhere else in the world, and we got it right here at the funeral home, the most fitting place to have a big Halloween prop. That is super cool that they have it here. So that does it for this spooky October trip to Sleepy Hollow, New York. It was a lot of fun. I know it's a bit different from any video I've ever done before, but it was in place of the Halloween Horror Nights trip, of course, because Sleepy Hollow is a very Halloween town, and so I hope you guys liked it since it is very Halloween-y. I obviously had to record it since it's very, very Halloween-y. It's the ultimate Halloween town. But we're heading home now, which I'm excited to head home because that means haunt builds will start very soon. If you have anywhere you want to go for Halloween, if there's a place that you want to go for Halloween but you know where, out of state, go to Sleepy Hollow, New York. It is the ultimate Halloween town, and it was great. Of course, most years they have more Halloween events going on, but the virus, still great to be where the story takes place. The story that inspired most of what Halloween is. So, yeah, it was fun, and I can't wait to get home so I can start more haunt builds, go to Spirit a lot, and so we can start cranking down on this month of October. So I hope you guys are looking forward to haunt builds. I hope you guys are looking forward to many more store walkthroughs, reviews, everything throughout this entire month of October. So as you can tell, we have made it home safely from the home of this guy, Sleepy Hollow. very awesome to get to see that place in person. It was really cool. I liked it. It was a nice little Halloween trip since Halloween Horror Nights is canceled this year. Gotta find something else to do during the season. I'll probably still go to Busch Gardens or for Hallow Scream or Screamageddon. I don't know which, but just a little extra thing to do during the season. That was a lot of fun to kick off October. I liked it a lot. It was great to see the Legend of Sleepy Hollow in person. As you guys know, I have 2 Headless Horseman props, so I'm a fan of it, as you can tell. But it was great to see it in person, and it was great to feel fall, real fall weather in person. Now back in Florida, it is not hot out at all. We've got a cool breeze coming through a bit. It's about 75 degrees out right now. However, in New York, it was like 60s in the day and 40s at night. So it's definitely different. It's definitely not as cool here, but it's still cool. It's not hot. It's not ridiculously hot. We still have fall weather, of course. It's just the watered down fall weather. Now, it is going to be hot the next few days, which sucks, but hopefully we'll get our next cool front coming in soon so we can get more. And a pleasant surprise is more people around me are decorated than they were when we left, which is pretty crazy because we were only gone a day and a half. But my theory is because people usually start decorating, like a lot more people start decorating the first week of October. So that explains it. First weekend of October, excuse me. But since I was gone a day and a half, that means I missed a day and a half of haunt builds. So first order of business is today I'm going to be cranking down on these haunt builds, hopefully finishing the walls today. You guys will know before this video is uploaded what gets done today. But yeah, we're going to see what gets done. I'm excited because now that there's no big trip, I mean it wasn't a big trip, it was a day and a half, but now that there's really nothing besides Screamageddon or Busch Gardens, which is only a couple hours at night, in the way of stopping the progress of haunt builds, this is when the haunt builds are really going to pick up and things are going to start ramping up. I hope to get all those walls done today and then hopefully tomorrow actually start setting up, which is pretty exciting. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video to Sleepy Hollow, New York. It's just a fun little Halloween video to do this season. Very different than anything I've ever done before, but it was very exciting, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me. So stay tuned, so many more Halloween videos coming throughout the month of October as Jack's Halloween Marathon continues throughout the entire month, and you get a video every day. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited. Let's get working on this haunt. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves.